Let me ask you something. Have you ever been benched in a crucial moment because your coach didn't trust you defensively? Have you ever felt helpless watching a stronger, quicker player blow right by you while your teammates shake their heads? Or even worse, have you ever had your minutes cut even though you know you can hoop offensively? This is the harsh reality of basketball. If you're a defensive liability, your coach will take you out because no matter how many buckets you drop, if you can't lock up on the other end, you're a liability, not an asset. And at the higher and next level, coaches don't gamble on liabilities. They only invest in two-way players. Look, I know you dream of playing at the next level. Maybe you want to play at the college level, maybe you want to play pro, but the reality is you're not going to be the next Luka, LeBron, or Kobe because that's only 1 in a 50 billion chance. But here's the thing, you don't have to be because the reality is that most of these pro hoopers aren't superstar scorers, but they're 3-and-D players. They're defensive specialists and they constantly lock up the best player on the opposite team. And guess what? They get paid for it. I know exactly what it feels like to be overlooked. I thought I was that guy in high school, averaging 30 points per game in Hong Kong, scoring at will, thinking I'm unstoppable. And then when I went to college tryouts, reality hit me like a truck. I was, and still, 5'7". I was at 59 kg, which is basically featherweight. I was skinny, undersized, weak. And worst of all, I was just a defensive liability and I constantly got bullied, exposed, and overlooked. And at that moment when I went to the college tryout, I thought maybe I just wasn't built for this. So I had two options, give up on the dream or figure out what was missing. And I realized that my offensive skills wasn't the issue. My basketball IQ wasn't the issue, but it was my defense. So I made a decision. I hit the weight room harder than ever. I studied elite defensive player frame by frame in slow motion. And I trained my defensive footwork, lateral speed, like my life depended on it. And within 1 year, I was able to hold my own against stronger and bigger players. And within 3 years, I became the starter on my college team with the assignment of guarding the best player on the opposite team. Meet Oliver Sue, a skilled offensive player with crafty handles and a silky smooth jumper. But despite his talent, he was missing something. He wasn't a defensive presence. He struggled to lock down stronger and quicker players. And coaches saw him as a scoring threat, but not a complete player. And Oliver knew it. He constantly told me that his foot speed was slow and he was always a step behind on defense. And even though he could score offensively, he knew that if he wanted to play at the higher level, he really needs to improve his defensive game to become a better complete player. Sounds familiar? If you're watching this, you probably feel the same way. You know your potentials, you know your shortcomings, and deep down, you know that if you don't fix them, your minutes, your future are going to be at risk. So what did Oliver do? He made a choice. He decided to commit to me and my defensive training philosophy, the same one that I'm offering you today, and we broke down his biggest weak links. Defensive footwork and lateral speed. We fixed it with explosive lateral drills on and off the court. Defensive IQ. We trained his anticipation and reads through lots of film study, but also working on his defensive positioning on the court. And finally, physicality. Even though he was strong, we got him even stronger, even more explosive to be containing stronger and quicker players. And after weeks of grinding, he transformed into a defensive menace. He guarded Klay Thompson, Bones Highland, Zach LaVine, Paul George, and earned himself the nickname the NBA Stopper. So I know that this system works because this didn't only work for Oliver, but also countless hoopers who were once defensive liabilities and transformed them into defensive lockdown defenders in just weeks. So they were guarding stronger and quicker players with more confidence. They were harder to blow by. They were more instinctive in defensive reads. And they earned the coach's trust to guarding the better offensive player on the opposite team. So I know that this isn't just random luck. It's a proven system. And now you have the chance to follow the exact same blueprint. So introducing the 12-week lockdown defensive challenge. This is a structured system designed to turn you into a lockdown defender. So firstly, here is going to be the weight room training program to help you become more physical and strong. Secondly, is going to be defensive footwork drills to really help you develop some elite lateral speed. Next, there's going to be small-sided games to work on with your teammates or your friends to improve your anticipation and defensive reads. There's going to be weekly Q&A calls for the fourth one to get some direct coaching feedback from me. And finally, for the fifth one here, it's going to be 10 plus webinars within it to learn through the defensive mindset of elite defensive players and also some of the stuff that most hoopers struggle with. So these are everything that I struggle with initially, and this is the whole package to turn you into a lockdown defender. If you're looking for a quick fix without putting the work in, this ain't for you. If you're not willing to commit to 3 to 4 days per week, this ain't for you. And if you're okay with being a defensive liability, this is not for you. But if you're tired of losing minutes because of your defense, if you're ready to be the guy that the coach can't take you off the court, and if you're wanting to level up and having a real shot at playing pro, then this 100% is going to be for you. I'll make this super easy for you. If you go through the entire 12-week challenge and you still see 0 results, then just send me an email. I'll guarantee you a full refund with no questions asked. Plus, you get a lifetime access to all drills, all training videos, all future updates at no extra cost. Look, if I ran this program one-on-one, it would easily cost more than 10K plus, but you're not going to be paying that. Right now, you can join just for $1,200, which is less than $10 per session to transform your defense, unlocking more minutes, and taking one step closer to playing at the level that you want, whether it's in college or at the pro level. So click the link below to start your 12-week lockdown defensive transformation now. In less than 2 minutes, you're going to be inside the challenge and you're taking a first step towards becoming a defensive menace, getting more minutes on the court, becoming a player that your coach can't take you off the court for. The choice is yours. Click the link and start now.